And welcome back to another YouTube video. Today I think is going to be a very exciting video because we're doing something that I've wanted to do for such a long time. We are going whale watching. Woo! But yeah, I'm so excited. I think hopefully, fingers crossed, we're gonna get to see some whales today because we went to a local beach yesterday and sat on like the headland area and we could actually see the whales pretty close in. So I'm very hopeful that today we're gonna get lucky and we are actually gonna get to see some. But I thought I'd bring you along because I just want to document this personally for me, because I think it's one of those days where I'm gonna look back on it in the future and I think it's gonna be something I remember for the rest of my life doing this. So I'm very excited. And yeah, we're about to leave now. It's actually only about 2 minutes down the road, pretty close to where we work at the moment, where the boat's leaving from. And then I think it's a 2-3 hour trip that we have. So it's currently about 7:30 in the morning. We leave at 8 o'clock from the boat area and then we get back in at about 11. So plenty of time on the water. I'm wearing warm clothes because I think it's going to be a bit chilly this morning, even though it's sunny. But yeah, so excited. I'll see you in a bit.
The company we went and did the whale watching with was a local company called Tweed Cruises. We opted for the 3-hour whale watching cruise and I believe it cost us about $100 each, which seemed pretty good since a lot of the other companies were charging a similar price for just 1 hour. They also had a guarantee that if you didn't see any whales, you'd get to go on a further trip for free, so it seemed like a pretty good option, to be honest. In Australia, the humpback whale migration season on the east coast is usually between the months of June to October. If you head to most beaches, especially those with high up viewing points, you're likely to be able to see the whales breaching or releasing water from their blowholes. Some of them even come close in, so that if you're chilling on the beach you might get to see them breach just behind where the surfers are. We were really lucky because a couple of times on the beaches in Coolangatta and in Burleigh Heads we saw this happening, so yeah, it was very special. On our boat trip, the captain informed us that the day before they'd had the most breaches that they've ever had and the whales were extremely active, so we were really hopeful that we'd get to see them when we went out. And once out at sea, it was quite rocky and the wind was quite cold, so I was really glad that I'd worn my warm clothes, to be honest. Fairly quickly we found a couple of whales and we think that one of them was just sleeping because it wasn't really moving that much, just sort of chilling in the water, and then all of a sudden it would wake up, move along a bit further and then stop again and go back to sleep. So it was quite funny to watch this because it just sort of kept moving on. It was almost like he was trying to ignore us, then he'd notice us, move on a bit and then pretend to ignore us and go back to sleep again. The sound that the whales made as well was just incredible. When they were expelling the water from their blowholes, it was just such a surreal sound. It was really loud, even when they were quite a distance away, and you can probably hear it in quite a few of these videos in the background. It's sort of a fairly high-pitched noise. Overall though, it was, to be honest, a bit of a waiting game. Obviously in this video I've collated the most exciting bits, but we spent quite a lot of time staring out at the ocean, looking all over all angles of the boat, never really quite knowing when a whale might emerge.
Hello. That's so close. Oh wow. That's incredible.
You could often guess, to be honest, when they might breach, because if they were swimming near you, they'd flick their tail up and then just disappear down into the water, and they left a footprint behind. So in some of these videos you can see the footprint. It's sort of like a circle of water that's much calmer than the rest of the water around it. The captain told us that this footprint is also how they tend to track the whales in the first place. So when they first come out of port and they're looking for the whales, they look for these footprints and they know that a whale will be fairly nearby. We were really lucky on our trip, and we saw the whales performing so many different things. We saw some barrel rolls, we saw them slapping their tails a lot, flipping their fins around. It was just incredible. We were told that the tail flapping or tail slapping can be used as a communication tool between whales. They can communicate over fairly long distances, and it can also be used to help get rid of things like barnacles and stuff that might be on their bodies as well. So yeah, really interesting. Another thing that's quite funny is that the whales around Tweed Heads, which is where we were, and Coolangatta, have actually made international news a few times recently. One of the particular incidents, a fisherman was unfortunately knocked unconscious by a whale's tail whilst out fishing, and it was pretty crazy because my mum called me and was chatting about this news story that she'd seen in the UK, and when I looked into it I realised that it was in Tweed Heads, and so I was like, Mum, this literally happened at the end of my road. So yeah, pretty crazy, since Tweed Heads is such a small place that it made international news. The whales were incredible, but the most incredible thing that they did was, of course, the breaches. So we were really lucky. I think I've said this quite a lot in this video, but we were really lucky because we saw a lot of amazing breaches. They were just so spectacular. Just seeing these huge animals throwing themselves out of the water, and there was even a few times where we saw multiple breaches at once. Unfortunately, wasn't always able to catch them on camera, as they were so sudden and they seemed to be over in the blink of an eye. So you'd be looking one way and somebody would shout and realise that they just breached on the other side of the boat, so you'd sometimes just catch the end of one. But truly spectacular, really incredible. Just being next to these huge creatures and being able to watch and observe them, it was truly spectacular and so special, and an absolutely incredible experience.
Back where I started this video, but we're back from the whale watching, and it was incredible. Honestly, one of the most amazing experiences ever, just seeing them breaching the water, not jumping. I kept saying jumping and the guy was like, no, it's breaching the water. So I kept breaching out the water. We saw them flipping their tails around. Apparently they do that a lot, rolling around in the water. Honestly, it was amazing. It was so good. So if you're in this area, I would really recommend going on this trip. I think it's one of the longer ones as well. I was just chatting to somebody at work and they said that the one that they've done was only an hour long, and this one, it was 3 hours out on the water. So it was from like 8 in the morning till 11. It was $95, which I think was a pretty good price for how incredible it was. And also, yeah, it was just a beautiful day, really lovely. And we went on a Monday, so it was quite quiet, so I think we got quite lucky that it wasn't too busy out there and too many people on the boat. But yeah, would highly recommend it. The company we used was called Tweed River Cruises, so if you're in the area, I would recommend using them. I'll put a link in the description below. But anyway, hope you've enjoyed watching the video. Hope you've loved watching the whale footage as much as I did in real life. And yeah, if you're in this area or anywhere in Australia in the whale season, definitely try get out on a boat and go and see them, because it's just amazing. Honestly, it's something you'll never forget for the rest of your life. Anyway, I'll see you in the next video, guys. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Bye.